everybody. This is the last video that I have to do. Thank everything holy. This one will be fairly lengthy because it's the wizard, and who has more spells than the wizard? Nobody. But we won't cover every spell simply because I can't get them all in one single sitting, but we will cover the majority, and we're going to cover two different playstyles because I already have a more traditional wizard in the party, and guess what? I'm going to make Josh's brute wizard his muscle wizard. And hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Hopefully weapon selection allows me to do it justice at the beginning of this playthrough. If not, if this first group we wipe, I'll run out and show you guys what the muscle wizard's capable of out in against a couple of lines or something. So here we go. We are going to be an elf because I've really neglected the elves. And I'm definitely going pale elf. Whether we get any benefits from fire or freeze damage is neither here nor there. Simply because the other benefits for range, and we're not playing ranged. So here we go. 30 and 10 a level at stamina and health respectively, which is low. It's the same thing the Cypher gets. Deflection is low. Melee is low, and ranged is 15. Now, don't worry about this. It'll be all right. Arcane Veil is your deflection. Your bubble increases your deflection, and it can be used once per encounter. Blast, when you use any of these weapons, wand, rod, or scepter, they generate a blast that does modest crush damage to enemies around the target. Spells. I don't think I need to read that. One thing I will point out is just like the druid and the priest, as you gain level, your weaker spells eventually shift to per encounter use instead of per rest. What level that is, I hope to find out soon. I don't know if it's in the beta, I don't know if it's level 8, but I hope I can figure it out. If anyone knows, I'd love to find out. Just post in the Obsidian forums, this will go in the thread I create. But we have +2 to lore, makes sense, and a +1 to mechanics, which is kind of odd, but it is what it is. So what we're gonna do is I've tried to memorize the spells that our wizard, the regular wizard has most of the spells he has access to. That said, we're gonna go through them all here as we go through and on level up, and I'm gonna try and pick ones that fit being a melee wizard. So this one, no, I'm sorry. Which one am I looking for? It is, okay, we'll get there. This is a will debuff and a stun. So this could be useful for a melee build. I'll decide once we've gone through them all. Chill Fog, inflicts a blindness on anyone entering and freeze damage over time to anyone in the AoE. Consulhat's, Paralytic Staff generates a glowing quarterstaff of pure energy to the wizard to wield, granting a bonus and a chance to hit, giving the wizard stamina with each successful strike. Yes, please. Eldritch Aim grants the caster otherworldly sight, resulting in preternatural accuracy for a short period. I will take that. Fan of Flames. Absolutely, we want that. And we get one more, so let's be a little more frugal. It's a conal ability. I don't think I need to explain this one. This is a movement speed increase for in combat. That's all it does. Basically, it inflicts slash damage plus slash damage over time and movement speed penalty to anyone in the AoE. I don't know what kind of AoE it is. Hopefully we'll find that out too. It's basically Chain Lightning, but a weaker version of it. Freeze damage and reduces the target's accuracy. That's probably good. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. This is our magic missile. This is oil slick or grease, and it causes a knockdown on anyone in the area of effect. Ooh, Spirit Shield sounds so useful. So we're gonna have to be picky here. This will guarantee me a melee weapon, so I'm gonna get it. We're gonna switch that out. Decreasing their accuracy. I'm gonna be more defensive about this, because Lord knows that the wizard is gonna have enough trouble. So what we want is I'm gonna go ahead and bump Resolve up a good bit because we need that, and we're gonna try and get both these up as high. Like I like everything at 10. I'm OCD like that. That'll work. That's what we're gonna go with. Our Resolve, I'm gonna try and keep it there, but we might have to play here in a second. Go back and play with things a little bit. We don't get a melee weapon, that stinks, so we'll just stick with this to be traditionalist and keep the Resolve without having to bag out. Anyway, elf heads. Ooh. It's like Skyrim Pale right there. That's our Oblivion Pale for the high elves. They get their skin tones. And they get their hair colors. Go with something to make it and we get to go with the frilly haired guy right here. That looks pretty close. And let's see, Blast we've already gone over. Arcane Veil we've gone over. Those are all the spells, we've gone over those, so we can move on. Yay! And now, for our moment of triumph. So just to cover, I just want to make sure I don't get any overlap in spells. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and open his inventory. And the first thing we're going to do is, well, we're going to level up because we need to. So I don't care about this. This is a level 1 spell, we get another one, so now we'll pick up this increased aim. And these are just spells you know, like that's not going to be in my grimoire. So, oh, thought I had 6, sorry. So here's level 2, we get like a color spray, confusing enemies in the AoE. We get a web ability, which reduces movement speed. This protects you against elements, which is a good thing. Probably good for this build, but whether we'll use it or not. Causes enemy wounds in the area of effect to ignite, inflicting additional burn damage over time. So a high intelligence build, this would be actually a really good spell, especially if you're doing, like, if you watch my Chanter video, this would go well with the Chanter's AoEs, because additional wounds, man. That's an idea. I'm gonna try that. Eats away at the target's spirit, inflicting corrosive damage and converting that essence into stamina. Yes, please. Shrouds the target's vision in total darkness, blinding them. I'm sorry. Fetid caress. It's a paralyzed plus it sickens people around them. This is temporary increase to stats, your stamina, basically. A temporary increase to stamina, that is. Merciless Gaze here. This increases your chance to crit versus enemy targets, or an enemy target. Miasma of Dull-Mindedness inflicts penalties to perception and intellect and resolve. Mirrored Image, gee, wonder what that does. It basically just gives you a high deflect, and then as you're hit, that deflection number goes down. This is lance that causes corrosion damage over time to any in the line of fire, so it would be good on, once again, on a high intellect character. Between the caster and the target, inflicting continual burn damage to the target and anyone caught in the ray, and rolling flame, which is comes out of your hand and goes in a direction and burns anything in between you and a stopping point. We get another one. I think I'm gonna go with mirrored image. And these are level 3 spells, so hopefully this is Arcane Dampener. It suppresses all beneficial effects on enemies in an AoE, which is a pretty good one. This is a arduous delay of motion, is a area of effect slow. The draining touch, which is probably where we're going to go, does corrosive damage to the target, weakening it and leeching a portion of its stamina. Crackling bolt, which leaps to the nearest enemy and jumps to 5 additional targets with shock damage, I'm sure. This increases your speed and movement while draining the enemy's stamina. It's not a bad one either. It's a haste. I don't know if it hastes your attack speed though. I'm assuming that's what speed is, but who knows. That one would be one worth picking up if I... You know what? That's what we'll do. Bears the enemy's combat vulnerabilities for all to see, reducing their damage threshold, deflection, and concentration. Summons a flaming ball of molten earth. Do I need to describe fireball? Does burn damage. Kalikos minor blights, a ball of energy in the caster's hand that can be thrown at an enemy, causing burn, freeze, corrode, or shock damage to anyone caught in the area of effect. Blights are continually replenished. I think this is similar to the druid spell, the blights there. Except they're elemental based, and well, maybe they're the same thing. Lingrath's displaced image increases their deflection and reflexes for the duration. It's like displacement. That's awesome. This is a bigger version of Magic Missile. Does more damage. Noxious Burst, basically a fireball that does corrosive damage. A small amount, but it sickens targets, so it's more a debuff, but it still does a little damage. Basically, it's around the caster, anyone becomes terrified and sickened, so this would be a good one for melee as well. So, but we don't have enough for but one. And now we have not prepared our grimoire from leveling up. That's one thing, if you haven't played a wizard in the beta, you kind of need to do every time you level. And we don't have any more spells, unfortunately. None in our inventory or anything. So we're kind of limited on what I can show you from this end until you start buying spells and finding spells out in the world. But, you know, nothing's perfect. Same basic layout as before. I'm not going to start with a fireball. Make sure you get a stance. Simply because it is... I want you to see... if you've watched any of my videos, almost all of them I use fireball. So I want to use some different spells this go around because this is to showcase this class. Let's check what this guy's stats are, just to do a comparison test. Excuse me. He's got a high intellect, or sorry, a medium intellect. So this probably is going to be okay. What, does he have any might? I didn't look. I wish you guys could respond. He does, so it probably will do okay damage. We're going to go with this one. After this, we're going to go out into the woods, and I'm going to cast a couple AoEs for you guys. Oh wait, I'm about to cast it at my dude. We're gonna hit this dude with it. We're gonna pop this dude with... Oh, and just to show you something, I just activated a slow motion. Or sorry, that was the opposite of slow motion. That's slow motion. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. And you can speed it back up. And we'll go ahead and we'll set a knockdown here. And then we are going to move in to right here. Now, the thing about showcasing this kind of build, and I'm sorry for the noise once again, is that it does not showcase this guy is trapped. The difference in attack speed right now is completely different because of... Come on. I'm wearing light and the heavier armor you wear, the bigger the difference. And we're gonna toss a heal on this guy in a second. My priesty here, the warrior that is, he's not too good. He's fine now.
Yes?
And try this one. Your eyes. Let's move over here where I can see it, where we can see it a little better. I want that guy down. Someone's hitting the wizard. Big heal. I guess I might have hit him by accident.
Yes?
So we don't do this, man. So we're gonna hit... Oh, they're dead. Never mind. Okay, so... That's initial combat, and that's cool and everything. But what we want is some weapons. And some armor.
Very well.
So let's see what I got here. We're gonna go with a Warhammer just because I don't think dual-wielding daggers is gonna showcase this as well as I would like. This gives the best DT, and it lowers the recovery time for spells a whole lot. And you know what? We're gonna go all out and go full Battlecaster here. And just for giggles, we're gonna give... we won't, because this is not showcasing that. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna move out. We got 3 rests. We're gonna move out here into the gorge, and we're going to... I'm gonna burn the rest of the spells we have, and then we're gonna rest. We've seen Fireball. You can watch one of the other videos for Fireball. I may use one of these other ones. Crackling Bolt. That thing just shot off. Maybe it went after a lion. Here is the first. Rolling Flame. And that hit somebody in our party. Our rogue, poor girl. And this is Web. Binding Web, that is. I love the web effect. It's beautiful. To each their own. I've shown you the Flame Burst. Jolting Touch, I think, is target only, as is that. So we can't show any more of what he has spec'd. But before I rest, we are going to go into the inventory and possibly change out some spells. Is that me? That was me. I want to see this guy. Huh. I thought he had more. He's apparently only got what I've got. Maybe a little more. We'll remove Rolling Flame, which I don't use that much anyway because it kind of hits your friendlies way too often. And on here, we know what Fireball and Noxious Blast look like, and we saw this. So, Arcane Dampener, Displaced Image, and let's see if this Magic Missile looks any different than the low-level one down here. Because if you notice, these are the... Oh wait, cancel. This Monolithus Bounding Missile does 26 to 39 crushing damage, and this one does 20 to 33. I don't know why they're so close in damage. So we've done that. Now, there's not much I can switch out, so we're going to move forward just a hair, make sure we don't see any enemies, and we're going to toss a campfire down. So once again, I want to see what Arcane Dampener looks like. That one's pretty. This one I think I can fire at the ground. Yep, there's that. Obviously it bugged out a little bit, but life goes on. I think that's really all I can show at the moment. So we're gonna... I don't think I used enough to constitute another rest. So now that I'm decked out in armor, I want you to pay attention to the bar above my head and compare it to the bar above this wizard's head as we're playing. And you'll see that because I'm wearing armor, I'm actually going to be a lot worse for wear in terms of how often I can cast spells, but I can wade into the thick of things better than this guy will be able to because I'm reducing all damage dealt by 10. We're going to go ahead and start with... We're going to start with this one. Now, hold on, pay attention. Look how long that cast time takes. And it's still not done. Well, I mean, it would have taken 2 seconds between a cast, whereas the other wizard can pretty much lay it down. But because, I mean, and you can build, obviously you can build a might-based wizard without being melee, but the fact that you can go this route, I mean, I'm not going to do a whole lot of melee damage, but I can haste myself, in theory. And I can cast this and steal. Like, I don't know if I would tank this wizard, but like they still function and hit things and damage people and do everything that a fighter can do. Are they as good as a fighter in that situation? No, but at the same time they're going to be able to AoE in a way the fighter can't, and that's their strength. Look at that damage. Holy moly. Okay, I thought it said 240. 40 freezing damage on a graze. On a graze. Let's try that again. That's fun. See, like, this is a unique thing. Like, I'm really happy that they, like, that I'm able to do this. Like, I get what people are saying about the attributes not being weighted properly. I get that. And I agree with it. But, like, in any other game, still grazed, I do believe. Yep. But, I mean, that's what makes this game stand out. Now, watch my cast bar. I can't even swing a weapon until this is done. And we're going to hit with the bigger magicness of him. Now watch. Oh, I didn't notice a huge difference in cast time. Maybe that was because I was comparing level 1 to level 3. Let's give it one more go. And then maybe that's something else Obsidian needs to work on, is getting those cast times right. Okay, so I don't have a level 1, but I do have level 3, or level 2, and he has a level 2, so we're gonna both do the same. I don't know why it's bugging out, but fair enough. I think I did damage to our warrior. I don't really care. Like him anyway. And I didn't get a spell off. But the fact that this is viable even right now, buggy or not, the fact that this is viable is a blast. Like, it's actually really fun. I'm actually enjoying it. I haven't even done this yet. Oh, whoa, I don't want to pull that line with the wizard. That's bad news bears. And I'm going to try and get to where we can see the casters. There's nothing. That's cast. This guy's got a level 3. Oh wait, that's the... I need the wizard. The wizard doesn't have a level 3. Go figure. Oh. That is it, though. That is the wizard in a nutshell. I know I could probably reload and show a few more of the spells, but we showed the vast majority of them, and the wizard's a very versatile class, as everyone should have already known. They've always been versatile in almost every game they're in. One of the most versatile. And that has not changed. The cool thing is, right now, if you look at the spell book, a lot of you, if you haven't kept up with the game, the Grimoire that is, you notice that you've got such a limited selection. It's almost like being a sorcerer, but you can have 2 of these things, 3 of these things, and have every spell memorized, and just swap Grimoires. It's recommended not to do it in combat because it puts you on like a 6-second, I can't do anything. It puts you in that situation where you can't do anything. But if you try a fight and you're like, crap, they just beat the brakes off of me, but I mean, we made it through, and you're like, well, this other Grimoire would probably be better, you're able to do that. Of course, you could just as easily swap out spells, but I don't know how that's going to become launch. So, it is what it is, and that is the wizard. Versatile, and looks pretty awesome. Cat shooting fire out of his hands with a shield and large hammer, I'm going to say. But I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'm Ganrich on the Obsidian forums, and or hit me up here on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.